Yeah.
Training Day?
Yep.
Training Day. Good movie. It's a great movie. Maybe we should have a training day.
All right, Coach. Talk about tonight.
Tale of two halves here. Tale of two halves against Boise. Right? Bullies on the block. Knew where they are. Biggest, 12th biggest team in the country. I thought the game plan initially was great. Guys came out right. Had them off kilter a little bit. Kind of had them flustered a little bit, which is what we wanted. But dang, I tell you what, man. If you can't put the ball in the hole, like, you can do everything you can. But if that ball doesn't go in and you're 0 for 9 from 3 and you can't put that ball in the hole, we just got to have some guys step up. I mean, Garrett Spielman said in the locker room, man, we're taking Leland Walker's leadership for granted, and we need guys to step up. We need guys to step up. We can't stop looking scared. I mean, just that's the thing that bothers me is I'm okay with going out there and you miss some shots, but if you're not willing to take the open look, well, crap, you ain't going to make the open one if you ain't willing to take it. And my message to these guys, I might be the only coach in America that's telling guys to shoot the ball. I'm on the sideline yelling at guys to shoot the ball when they're open. Because I know, like, we got to have a possession that can go with a paint touch 3 or kick out 3 or we can't end in a turnover. And if you don't have it in you to go shoot the ball, why are you playing college sports? That's my question. So what are you here for? Like, we're doormats? We just gonna be walked all over and, take punches and never throw any back? This isn't competition. And we have a saying that players play and tough players win. There's a lot of guys who want to play basketball right now, but there ain't a lot of tough players who want to win right now. And it's just the same message over and over again right now. I feel like I'm beating that dead horse, but you can't let a team shoot 50% from the field and 40% from 3. I'm okay with 50% from the field. I've been a part of teams that have given up 50% from the field, but not 40% from 3. 29, 30, 32. Hold Boise to 4 or less threes. That's 12 points. The margins change. The game's different. You can't give a team a 27-4 run in 8 minutes the first half. At some point, the players have to stop the bleeding. Now, I got to be a better coach. Maybe I got to use all my timeouts in the first half. Maybe I got to use all 4 just to stop runs and to say, you know what? If you can't knock the guy out, then maybe we'll delay it. You know how the boxers, they meet up and they just hug each other? Maybe we'll just keep having a delay warning, and hope the bell finally sounds and we can come back to the corner and be like, oh man, that was a tough one. But crap, that's just it's not fun to be on the sideline telling guys to shoot the basketball and to have some freedom and confidence. I mean, crap, any recruits out there that want to come to Wyoming and shoot the ball, and just give me a call. You can actually shoot it. If you can actually shoot it, just give me a call. I don't need some guy at Lifetime Fitness telling me I can shoot it. I'll go play for him. Actually, give me some freaking numbers and tell me you're a sniper. And if you look at our track record of players that I've coached, we've always had a guy in the roster that's made over 50 threes. Over 50 threes. And a lot of times it's over 60 threes. And the good ones are over 75. We've always had that guy. And right now we got a bunch of gunshot guys. And I'd rather have an itchy trigger finger guy than a gunshot guy.
The zone was working Sunday early.
Yeah.
What happened? What changed?
Well, we wanted to mix. I mean, they got a rhythm and they started going inside. They put 5 out and they started going inside. And they pinned a couple fouls down there, so we wanted to bury that rhythm. And our goal going in was to bury the rhythm, not be 100%. We played the zone longer than I actually probably wanted to start because it was working so well. Yeah. But then they caught about 4 to 6 straight points off it, just pinning fouls down low. Our guys got stretched out. But the transition was the big thing for me. We've been really good defensively in transition, but we missed a lot of shots, and they were getting runouts, and they got 4-and-1s in transition in the first half. 4-and-1s. And I just had a whole film session about if you're going to use a foul, use it. Use it. Please. Like, make it worth it. Like, we're going out with a bang here. Make it worth it. And it's a tickle over here and a tickle over here and, love tap over there. I mean, that's not toughness. You don't impose anybody's will. You don't impose your will on anybody. Like, hey, it's okay. You just go get an animal. It drives me nuts. My coach has always told me, if you're going to foul him.
27-2 run there then, or right at the end of the first half. Now, how frustrating is
it?
that?
2 or 4? 4.
Well, 4.
Jeez, it doesn't make it worse.
Wow.
It's the same. It's the same now.
27-4, end of the first half. I mean, how frustrating is that when kind of looking back and you see just kind of how well you played in the second half?
Grand Canyon. New Mexico. What else do you want to keep? San Diego. You want to keep going down the list? I mean, this is I've always believed, I took this racial different, you got to be your tax bracket, right? I thought the Fresno game was really huge for us. I wanted to win that one, and like I believe in that right now in this day and age. Like, it's not an excuse. Like, it is what it is. I found out Fresno's not even our tax bracket; they're in a different tax bracket. So, like, our tax bracket is what it is, and we are where we are, and it's frustrating because I want to punch above our weight. Hasn't that always been the Wyoming thing? Punch above your weight. Like, I love that phrase. I've seen you write about that. I've seen that phrase a lot. You got to punch above your weight. Like, I don't want to wrestle at my class, at my weight. I want to wrestle above. I want to be in the heavyweights. I want to go see what I'm made of. And I think that's why, like, when we recruit underdogs, because we have to recruit underdogs here. The underdogs need to have an overdog mentality. Like, they belong. And they belong. They want to be part of the heavyweights too. Not guys who are okay with like, oh, you know what? That's a big dog there. That's a heavyweight. We're not that. And we've always found guys who believed a little bit bigger than what they are, and presented themselves. If they're 6'3", presented themselves like 6'5". If they're 6, like Leland Walker, 6'1", presents himself like if it's a hard guard man. Guys that present themselves bigger than what they are. That's an internal belief and an internal confidence that the guy has to have in himself. I was that guy. I was a 6'4" foreman that my old boss said we'd never win a conference championship at Sundance Wicks played before. We won 2 of them. Because he said that was my underdog moment that made me believe, like, I'm built for this. I want guys who believe that. That when somebody tells you you can't do something, they're absolutely unequivocally 100% wrong, and you're going to prove that. That's what I want. That's what I hope we recruited. And we've seen glimpses of it. But, until this team can figure it out, and the time's running out. As we all know, in this world, it's not like we just play. I just can't wait till next year. We took some licks this year, but next year, tell you what, these guys are going to come back and we're going to get it rolling. Who knows? I'm praying that we keep the right guys come back. I'm praying that we can keep a retention part of this roster where we can grow and develop and do what we used to do in this profession, which is mentor, mold, and teach adversity. But right now, teaching through adversity is hard because even the fear of the coaches, the harder this gets, the easier it is for them to quit. Because you can just try to reinvent yourself somewhere else. But it's not where you are, it's who you are. I'm always going to be who I am no matter where I'm at. So you can't run from it. So the message is, we gotta grow through it. You gotta run through the fire. You gotta run into the burning building. You can't stop thinking that it's just gonna change because you'll change places. You're gonna change because the scenery will change. Doesn't change. Doesn't change. Nothing changes until you do. And so that's what I hope our guys are fighting for.
To that tax bracket point, how important is Saturday's game just to maybe right the ship a little bit?
Massive. I told him in there, like, this is the biggest game of the year. I'm not one for saying it's a Super Bowl, right? Every game that we play, the next game is the biggest game of the year, but this one, like, it's a big game. It's a big game for us. It's a big game for San Jose. And they're not going to come in here thinking like, oh man, this game's not important. It's a huge game. And like I told our guys, like, I just believe in that. Like, you guys may have thought Boise was a big game. I thought Boise, every game's huge. But I'm looking at the teams that, you know what, we got to go beat those teams on a recruiting trail because maybe we can go get in the same fights that San Jose gets, or same fights that Fresno gets, or same fights that Air Force gets. Like, that's kind of the same fights we can get in. And it may be sad for Wyoming fans to hear that, but like, can't get in the same fights as San Diego State, Boise State, CSU, Utah State, Nevada, UNLV. We can't get in those fights. We're not even allowed in the gym. They lock the doors and Coach Carter us. We can't even get in there. That's the reality. And so for us, like, we're gonna have to fight our way through the door. We're gonna have to take the axe and knock the chains off and be like, let us in. We want to party. We want to be here too. We want to be invited. And I'm praying that these guys can like have that type of resilience and competitive fight. Crap, I've been a part of this stuff, man. I've been on all sides of this crap. Coached a long time. And it's just the kids that seem to have this unbreakable spirit, this unbreakable will. And sometimes it's better when you burn the boats, right? Like if you just sat there and said, you know what, I ain't going nowhere, I'm burning the boats and dumping it down, and this is where I want to be, and this is who I am and where I want to stay. And then all of a sudden, magic happens. But when you're looking over at the shore and there's boats sitting there, and you're like, that's a speedboat, I can get out of here real fast. I'm going to be part of this. Like, that's the sad part. I think a lot of coaches grow through. I'm not going to live in that fear, but that's just the reality, right?
Sundance, are you holding the timeouts at home for the altitude sickness, or are you holding it to see the fire of the second, third, and fourth players to come aboard?
I mean, I like to use timeouts for strategy. That's why I like to use timeouts for scheme, late game situations. Like Phil Jackson, like I was pretty sure Phil Jackson never want to call the first timeout. Never want to call timeouts. Want to let his players play through it. At some point too, like. I call a timeout after an 8-0 run. Call a timeout after that 8-0 run turns into 16-2. I call time like, at what point are you gonna say, I don't need a timeout, coach? We can go. We're not gonna grab the wall. We're gonna push through. We're gonna go get the stop and the score and the stop and the score. We're gonna get it right back because that's gotta happen. Because if we don't, Eric, this is just gonna be the same. There's not enough timeouts in the world for me to sit there and have a kumbaya at the 9-minute mark. You know, and I'm trying, I'm sitting there being like, all right, this is enough. Now it's 10, like, I gotta call it. I'm not gonna call it at 4 or 6, like, those are 2-possession games, but it goes 4 or 6, and all of a sudden, bang, 3-9, and then bang, 3-12. That happens in 40 seconds. It wasn't like that happens in the span of a 5-minute stretch there, but it's like back to back to back. Garrett Spielman was going crazy in the locker room. When are we gonna learn the lesson that we can't just have these segments in games? And they're just segments. Like if you just took the game and like put it in a snapshot, it's like an 8 to 9 minute segment of just awful execution and awful toughness, and that's it. And there's the game. And it's hard to come back from 20 down or 18 down or 15 down. That's the moment. And it's like if you let a team score a touchdown, and then you fumbled and they scored a touchdown again, like 14 points in 5 minutes like that. That's a tough hole to dig out of.
Sonny, why is Garrett Spielman the voice of reason in this locker room right now?
Well, Matias had surgery, right? Or Matias out, and Nas is out, and Leland tries to talk, and Leland's exhausted. But Garrett's been here the longest. He knows our culture the most. But he's not afraid. So I think there's a fear factor with guys that when it comes to leadership nowadays. Is you can't say what you don't know. Garrett owns it, man. He's an engineering major. He does all the dirty work. He's a blue collar boy through and through. He's a Wyoming guy, Wyoming grit, has a lot of pride. He means something to him, cares. And that's why I looked in there today and I said, if he cares this much, and it doubles the amount of you guys over here that are on scholarship, then I'm gonna go with the guy who cares on Saturday. I'm gonna go with the guy who cares, because that matters to me. And I'm tired of beating my gums and trying to get guys to step up and answer the bell. I'm just gonna go with the guy who cares, because at least I know what his motives and intentions are. He'll never leave. Like one of those guys, he'll never leave you, right? And he'll care at a high level. And it's not like he doesn't go and practice and go kick some of these guys' butts sometimes. But it's just that's kind of the role you get relegated to sometimes. But he cares. And so Garrett's the voice because Garrett's been here with me on this journey. And he was here with Linder for a year. He's been here 3 years. He's the longest standing coach in that locker room. He's seen good, bad, ugly. He's seen it all. And he's like, this is enough. And for him, and the way he speaks in his voice, how it just crackles a little bit, you know, sometimes when I get a little teary-eyed and crackles, I just know that guy cares. And it's a good lesson for all of us, to not have to worry about the star player, but the guy who stars in his role and cares more than anybody else.
Quick question about Boo. Was he just not a good matchup tonight? Because it looked like, I mean, you started out the year saying he had to step up, you wanted more from him, but you've been playing him a little bit more recently, and then tonight just played me.
He was sick yesterday.
Okay.
So, I mean, hard for me to play guys when they missed the practice day before the game.
Got it.
But I like Magoo, but he does have to step up in a lot of ways. But you know, he didn't know the attack. He wasn't on the floor. He was like over there in the side, you know. So
Is Belich done for the year?
I don't know. There's a possibility he can come back, but it's these things would. I pray not. I pray that I'd never. I cried yesterday talking to our guys level just because of how much I care about Tia. Like I hate when guys who do all the right things get a bad draw. And there's a probability that he can come back and he'll be back for some games. I don't know how many, but then there's also the possibility that he couldn't. And I'm holding out hope that he can still play another game in a Cowboy uniform. You know, but as I told these guys, you never guarantee. This isn't guaranteed. We don't know when your last game's going to be. And that spirit that he has for us is so valuable. I told my staff there's one guy that we can't lose in the start of this year. It was Mattia Belichick. And ironically, it's like when things like this happen, you go, oh, that's not what would happen. And it's not fair. I told you this, you're going to win. You're going to win later in life. You're going to marry a good woman. You have a great place in Serbia. You're going to be like this. You know, I don't know what they do over there. They're going to bring a lot of espresso down there. I don't know what he's going to have. He's going to win later in life because I just think the scales tilt for guys like that. You know, he ain't going to finish last. I know that.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, guys like Uriah, Caden, Demarion have all hit shots this year and proven that they can fill it up. But what is making their confidence kind of waver, do you think?
Well, when you see you go against top 100 defenses versus top 200 or 300 defenses, when those arms from Boise start flying at you, or San Diego State, or Grand Canyon, like, welcome to the league, bro. Since we got in the league, these guys haven't shot well. Period in the story. Better. I mean, telling them all the time, get in the gym, and this training's got to train like game shots, game spots, game speed, and you just got to be more. You know my answer to work. My answer to failure is you got to do more. You got to expect more of yourself. And so if it ain't going down against these cats, like, then you got to find a way to impact winning when you're not scoring or when you can't score. So like Caden Bennett, like, I can go, look at that dude, 10 rebounds, like 4 offensive, like what? I mean, that's like the monster. But you got to play 36 minutes because we played zone tonight. You know, like if he plays 30 minutes, he's going to do that stuff. But what are you going to do if you're not scoring? That's where I'm on Dennis, and Uriah, and Sim, and Adam, and all that. And it's not going in. How are you impacting winning? That's this that we talked about. That's that competitive resilience, that toughness that you got to have. But they have proven they can make it, but not yet in this league. So time for the boys to take a little bit of accountability. Right? I told them I wasn't going to be Nick Cronin. I wasn't going to come in here and be like, I'm a bad coach. I recruited them. Like, that's so crazy. Like, I believe in these guys. And I recruited them for a reason. I think for us, like, they were all capable and they can do what they do. And I've seen it. But that's where they have to believe in themselves. Confidence comes from demonstrated ability. I have no man can say, like, I'm going to give you confidence today, Alex. If you don't believe in yourself, man, sorry, you're screwed. I think you're screwed. Ain't somebody else coming in here and being like, you know, I believe you can do it. Like I think somebody watched me golf with Nick Seaman one time, right? And they're like, oh man, you can hit it 300 yards. Sundance, go for it. I'd pop that thing 20 yards in the air. I'm like a grandpa shot about 100 yards down the fairway. Like, that's about all I got. And no matter what that guy said, have another beer, you can do it. I don't believe in myself when I'm out there on the golf course, okay? Some of these guys need to stop acting like me on a golf course and start acting like they're college basketball players.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, guys.